Hey, love bugs. It's Dr. Ashley Greer here, and I am a hell yes coach that helps women who tend to be people pleasers, who tend to put other people first, who tend to always put themselves last, to sacrifice their self care, to sacrifice their own happiness for everyone else, to live a hell yes life. I am a former psychologist turned coach that helps women overcome codependent patterns, overcome toxic backgrounds, overcome really unfortunate backgrounds, and that's what we're here to talk about today. Where does codependency in this toxic cycle come from? I want to make it crystal clear to you that codependency, the codependent coping mechanism, the everyday codependency that I talk to my clients about is not about coming from a toxic, quote unquote, toxic, prototypical toxic background that's about narcissism and abuse and alcoholism and all the stuff that we imagine when we think about codependency. Everyday codependency is really just a coping mechanism that 80 to probably 100% of people learn at some point of their life, usually because of an unfortunate background. Now, what I mean by unfortunate background is it can be something as simple as, let's say your brother or sister has cancer growing up, and you feel as though it's your job to not cause extra stress to the family, because you want to try to take care of mom and dad and not be more trouble than all of this stress that's already happening with your brother or sister who has cancer. And so what happens is you end up being a good girl or good boy, depending on if you're a man or a woman, and you end up behaving, you end up prioritizing other people's happiness, taking care of other people's emotions over yourself, over your own needs, and you sublimate or push down your own needs, your own wants, your own desires, your own happiness for the needs of others. At the time when you're growing up with an example of like a sibling who has cancer, that really served a really like valid purpose. There was a good reason that you developed that coping mechanism. And that's the thing about everyday codependency and how different it is, how radically different it is from the codependency that we learn about out there that everybody else is talking about, is this is a really normal coping mechanism that most people have learned to utilize, whether it's from conditioning from the patriarchy, from our society that tells you they're there, it's okay, don't cry, don't experience your emotions, push it down to make everybody else more comfortable. Or if it's because of some unfortunate circumstance in your family, whether it's, you had a grandparent who had Alzheimer's disease, so you didn't want to stress mom and dad out more, or you had a sibling who had cancer, or maybe you did have an alcoholic parent, or maybe you had a parent who had depression, or maybe you had a sibling who had really bad anxiety or was getting into trouble at school, and so you didn't want to be another source of stress, and so you pushed down your own needs in order to make sure everybody else is taken care of, and you learn to put everybody else first. You learn to basically sublimate or push down your own needs, your own desires, in order to prioritize everybody else's happiness. And so as an adult, you learned as a child, and so as an adult you keep believing that you have to fix other people, that you have to prioritize their happiness, you have to take care of other people's emotions, other people's problems, you have to do all of these things in order to be good enough, in order to earn worthiness, in order to earn enoughness, and in order to be loved. And this is foundationally where this everyday codependency comes from. It's a really simple etiology, which is basically the word that means where it comes from. It's a fancy word for where it comes from. It's a very simple etiology, and it's why you're going to see this as a pattern that shows up for everybody. And this is why it's really important to understand that this is not a character defect. This is not a problem of who you are. This is just a coping mechanism. This is just a habitual conditioned response based upon something that worked really well when you were young, that worked really well for the reasons that you developed it for, and is no longer serving you as an adult. And this is why it's totally possible to change this habit once and for all. And this is what we do inside my membership site, the Abundance Revolution. This is a membership community. It's only for women. Guys, I do work with guys one-on-one. I just don't work with them in my membership community. That's just for women. And it involves intense, in-depth trainings on codependency, on people pleasing, on getting rid of the shame and the shoulds, on overcoming all of the guilt that really drives us into making sure that we take care of other people first, and to be able to put ourselves first without this sense of guilt and shame and fear, and to stop shrinking and to start shining. And this is what this group is all about, is to overcome that resistance, overcome all of that sense of internal tension that keeps holding us back from becoming our best selves, from living that hell yes life based upon this everyday codependency, this method of coping that most people operate from, but that nobody else is talking about. And you'll find it just in my membership community, the Abundance Revolution, or in my one-on-one work. And I want to invite you to step in and check one or the other of these out. Because I guarantee that it will it will radically shift your life, and you won't regret it. My clients say that 30-minute session with me is better than 10 years or 20 years of therapy. It's that profound. I have my PhD in psychology. I have over 15 years of experience working with people on these patterns. And personally, I have gone through this myself. I've experienced all this myself. I've been in the trenches of getting through these patterns myself. They work because I've seen them work, not just in my clients, but in my own life. And I can help you as well. I hope to talk to you soon, and I will see you again in the next video. I hope you subscribe, like, share, because this is information that needs to get into the hands of everybody, because it's going to change the world, change your life, change everything. Because really, it changes your finances, it changes your relationships, it changes your business, it changes, the way you value yourself, it changes the way you take care of yourself, it changes your health, it changes your mindset, it changes everything. Kaboom, kablooey. It's awesome. And so are you. All right. See you soon.